Welcome to our gut health and weight loss webinar. My name is Nicole Odermatt, and this is my husband, John.
How's it
We both
going?
have been using products from Plexus for quite a few years now, and we've had a lot of different success with using various products, but we're mostly going to focus on talking about two simple health systems that have really greatly impacted our health and our weight loss. So, we're going to share a little bit more about how the supplements work and what we use. But first, I'm going to take you back to before I started using these products and what life was like for me before we get to talking about how they all work. So, at the time when I first uh, decided to start using these products, or right before, I had a 1.5-year-old daughter, and I was still dealing with some postpartum depression and anxiety at the time. And it had gone on for a while, and I had been written a prescription to take something for it, but I never filled that prescription and just kind of kept just not dealing with it, which is not good either. But I had no idea that gut health could have any effect on anything like that. Um, in fact, I didn't really know much about gut health at all when I had first started. I had used a probiotic before, I'd used a magnesium before. I never noticed really any difference with anything like that until I tried the Plexus stuff. So previously, I was constantly getting headaches for years, like they were like daily, almost daily, chronic headaches off and on. I was never regular in the bathroom. I know it's TMI, but this is an issue that many people deal with and they don't want to talk about it. And so I'm going to talk about it because if that's you and you're suffering, there is something that can help. And you don't have to rely on over-the-counter laxatives and things like that, like I used to do. Um, but it was always just painful to go. I wouldn't go very often. So not only that, I struggled with painful cramps during my period. And so that would also make my digestive issues worse that time of the month as well. But I was miserable that time of the month. So things like that. It also took me a long time to fall asleep at night. Like it would take me probably an hour or so for me to fall asleep. And I tried all different things, falling asleep with white noise, with a TV on, with nothing on, with the eye mask. I would resort to taking ZQuil or Tylenol PM most times. And if I was out of those, I would take NyQuil. I wasn't even sick and I would take NyQuil because I just wanted to fall asleep, or Benadryl. And so, all those kind of things, like just daily little things that I wouldn't really say, oh, I have major issues. But looking back, it's like all of these things, it was a lot I was dealing with. I had allergies that constantly bothered my sinuses, and I was always taking Claritin, Zyrtec, things like that. Um, but and when I wasn't falling asleep easily, I would also wake up in the middle of the night and just feel, like I couldn't go back to sleep, and then I'd wake up really groggy. So, all those little things, they just start to add up and they take a toll on you. I also had really bad sweets cravings, and I would eat ice cream twice a day, every single day. I'm not kidding you. I love sweet tea. I love Dr. Pepper, energy drinks, sweet drinks from, Starbucks and things like that. Loved all that stuff. I always had to have candy near me. I love junk food, Doritos, all kinds of, processed cookies and things like that. But after, I had my daughter a year prior to even starting Plexus, I had initially lost a little bit of baby weight, but as that next year went on, I started to like put on a little bit more again. And it was just feeling fluffy, I guess I would call it, and just really uncomfortable in my clothes. And I had decided that I was okay with just having to wear maternity clothes the rest of my life to feel comfortable, which is kind of sad that I was like, okay, that's it. I just have to deal with maternity clothes. Um, and so, anyways, I ended up starting on this gut health basic system. It's called Triplex. We'll tell you more about how that works later. But within a week, the first thing I noticed was that I was actually finally going to the bathroom regularly, daily. Daily, you guys. This was huge for me that I was going daily and sometimes twice a day without needing Miralax and not being in pain. A couple weeks later, I noticed my bloating had gone down. It was just like this really uncomfortable feeling right below my chest. I would always feel really it was just uncomfortable, was the feeling. And it just felt like something was released there. And I'm like, oh, that's what bloating was. Apparently, I've been bloated for a long time. So that helped with that. And then a month in, I had my monthly period. And guess what? There were no signs of it because there were no cramps. And I was like, that's really odd. And I did not attribute it to Plexus at first. It wasn't until month two when that happened again that I had no painful cramps, that I had to say something about it to the person that helped me get started, which is my sister-in-law, my husband's sister. And I was like, this is really weird, but I haven't had cramps. And she knows how bad they were for me. We both had suffered with those. And she was like, oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. Plexus helped me not have cramps anymore. And I was like, what? So I was like, if that's the only thing that it helps, I am in. I am taking this stuff because that was huge for me. Um, but things like that, like my natural energy just started to come back. My mood was improving a little bit. I was finally able to fall asleep within 5 to 10 minutes of my head hitting the pillow, not an hour anymore. So that was really cool. I didn't have to take the ZQL, the Tylenol PM. I haven't taken that stuff probably for 8 years now. My sweets intake went down a lot. I was no longer needing to eat ice cream constantly every day. I went down to having it like once or twice a week, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. I just wasn't having that intense craving. And eventually I had a sweet tea, and I was like, this is way too sweet. So the cool thing about that is my cravings changed because I had healed my gut. So, I was able to swap all these without this wasn't intentional. I will tell you, if when I heard that there was a chance that my sweets cravings might go down, I actually almost quit Plexus because I was like, well, if that's going to happen, I'm not going to take this stuff because I love sweets. That's how much I love sweets. But it just slowly started to happen that my cravings really truly did change without me trying. So I swapped like the unhealthy energy and hydration drinks that I would get at the gas station now for the Plexus healthy stuff. So much better for me and even better for like my dental health too. I hadn't got cavities for years. Just, with switching my products, and eating less sweets, and then that actually has a correlation to gut health, believe it or not. My coffee intake went way down. I could even go most days without coffee. It doesn't really matter to me. I just kind of like the routine and the warmth of a coffee, and I like to put protein in it. So it is kind of an easy way for me to get my protein in. But otherwise, like I don't need it like I used to. I used to drink a ton of coffee. Postpartum depression eventually, this is, over time of me taking these products for months, right? Postpartum depression just eventually started to become a thing of the past. My anxiety went way down. So this was huge. And then I realized after starting to look into it and research more, like gut health is connected to your mental health. Who knew? So I'm just going to share some things here while I'm talking about gut health as well, because it's just so connected to so many different things. But I just started to become a lot more comfortable in my clothes. That was big for me. Um, didn't have to wear those stretchy maternity pants anymore. But a few years down the road, and this is like post 2020, situation of eating, drinking different things, like a lot more of it. And then we had this year where we went on a lot of vacations. I think in one year we went on two all-inclusive resort vacations. There was a cruise, there was family beach vacations, little weekend trips, weddings, things like that. All these things rolling into one. By the end of that year, I was just like, wow, I feel a little fluffy again. My clothes were just not fitting right, and I just felt gross. And I'm like, I need to change something up. So I did add another Plexus product at that time that helps with weight management. And I decided to start doing my resets monthly. And John's going to talk to you all about what a reset is. Okay. Love, love, love the 3-day reset. When I decided to start doing the reset monthly, after 4 months, I lost 12 pounds. And that year I was able to keep off the 10, like about 10 pounds of it, steady through that year, and just felt so much better again in my clothes. So a reset really, really has been key for me. It's great either before you're heading on a trip or maybe after because you want to detox from that. I used to do them seasonally, but now I try to do them a little bit more often, every 1 to 2 months, and it just helps a ton. So um, John, did you want to share your story or should I talk about the gut health system?
I'll share mine real quick.
Yeah.
I'll keep it short, so we can get to the gut health and then the reset. But yeah, so um, my story. I started taking Plexus. What is it, 7 or 8 years ago now? And to go back to that time, my major struggles were I was exhausted. That was probably the biggest thing. I was overweight, although at the time I didn't really realize it. But the biggest thing was I just had no energy. I lived on caffeine, lived on coffee. Just really never felt good. Always felt sluggish. Always felt slow. Didn't have motivation to go and work out. And I started with triplex, which Nicole's going to talk about. And I would say within, I don't know, we'll say a month, I noticed that. Well, it's interesting how I noticed it, because I used to work in the office and drive into work. And when I was driving home at the end of the day after drinking coffee all day to stay awake, to have energy to work, I would still have to, slap myself in the face to stay awake sometimes when I was driving home, which is terrifying and awful to think back on. But what I realized after taking Plexus for about a month, I was like, I'm not tired. Like, and then I'd start to like just kind of on my own just start drinking less coffee. I wouldn't be drinking as much coffee throughout the day until, I just got back to a normal, 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day. And that was huge for me, having that energy. And what that parlayed itself into, is as I did start to lose weight slowly. It wasn't like a massive weight loss. I was pretty much just taking the triplex, um, at that time. Essentially, I think that's the only supplements I was taking.
You also were taking the carb blocker as well, but
Yeah,
not
I wasn't
just
sure if
using
I
it on
added that in
occasion,
yet, but yeah,
like occasionally.
I guess I did add in. I guess I was taking block or carb blocker from the beginning, but so yeah, I was slowly losing weight. But the cool thing was these are tools. So these supplements are tools. I got my energy back, and I started having the energy to go to the gym. Started going on my lunch break. Started running again, just because I felt so good. My brain fog that I struggled with for a while was gone. I felt like I could think clearly. I had energy. Um, my blood sugar wasn't crashing. I wasn't wanting to take a nap underneath my desk at work after lunch. And I was just feeling good. And fast forward that over 18 months, 2 years, and all of a sudden I look at a scale, and I've lost 40 pounds. So pretty crazy. And similar to Nicole, I did add in the reset. Within the past 3 years here, we've been doing resets, and we do it about every 2 months, 6 weeks or so. We'll do a reset, and for me, it's mental as much as it is anything else. Just resetting my mental eating habits. Um, I love the how it's a cellular detox, which I'll talk about. But also, I do use it for weight management. So maybe in some other areas where, maybe I'll indulge a little bit, like this time of year. Maybe I'm not as strict as I maybe would be before I started using Reset. Um, Not that I'm eating all kinds of crap all the time, but the point being, I did a reset after Thanksgiving. I'm going to do one after Christmas, and it just helps to keep your metabolism, you know, burning and doing what it should be doing. So that's my story.
Thank you. Sorry, I was making sure I stopped sharing that photo for a second. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that. I mean, you say your weight loss wasn't drastic. It'll sound drastic when you tell people you lost 50 pounds, but it was over time and slowly just addressing the root issues, which are gut health, inflammation, blood sugar, and all that. So,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk about the triplex, which is what he first started with, which is what I first started with, and what we both continue to take most consistently now, out of anything that we do. Um, so I'll have John talk more about the reset because we do love that as well. But let's talk about triplex. So it is 3 parts, as you hear from the word, tri. One of them is a pink drink, we call it. It's called Slim. I have one right here. So I'll talk a little bit about that. I guess they're not all pink because one of them is a sweet tea version. There's a cherry version that's more red. So, a couple different colors, but we all tend to call it the pink drink. But that is one of my favorite things. I really look forward to it every day. Um, and then there's 2 gut health capsules. They are called BioCleanse and ProBio 5. Um, let me just like kind of explain this using sort of, I guess, a metaphor of a flower garden. So if you think of your gut like a flower garden, um, your flowers are basically the probiotics, okay? Think of like that in your gut. Um, we have, a weed killer, we have uh, fertilizer. Sorry, I can't think of words at 9 o'clock at night, apparently. So you have all these things, right, that we help get weeds out. So if you have a flower garden that's growing weeds, you could go ahead and plant more flowers, right? That's not going to actually remove the weeds, is it? It's not going to like pull them out. You have to physically go in and pull them out, right? It might just overcrowd the weeds that are already there. Um, so that's what happens sometimes when you take a regular probiotic, maybe from the store, or even, a prescriptive probiotic. They're just probiotics. They don't also have the qualities that our Probio 5 has, which what it does is actually attack the weeds in your gut garden. So Probio 5, it's like I said, not just probiotics, it also has digestive enzymes, which a lot of people buy those separately. So you don't have to buy those separately. They're already in your capsule. It also has antifungal properties with an ingredient called chitosanase. It breaks down the tough cell walls of the yeast in your gut. So basically, it's combating candida yeast overgrowth. Um, we all have some yeast, we all have some candida going on, but the overgrowth of it is the problem. So what this Probio 5 does is go in there and just basically attacks, kills off all that junk that we don't want in there. And then so that's like the weed killer. And then the Bio Cleanse comes in and gently just like sweeps out all of that stuff that Probio 5 killed off. So, we're kind of going to toilets now, but like if you go to the bathroom number two in a toilet, you're going to flush it afterwards, right? If you don't flush it, it kind of gets gross. So that's kind of what the BioCleanse is. It's like the flusher. We're sweeping out that toilet. It's going to be clean at the end. When you hear the word cleanse for the name of this product, don't be scared. It's not like a daily, or it's not like a cleanse that's going to keep you in the bathroom. It's a gentle daily cleanse of your gut. It's not a laxative, but it can help with regularity. Believe me, it's helped me a lot with that. But it's primarily a magnesium that also has vitamin C in it. And fun fact, when magnesium is bound with vitamin C, it's actually more effective. So that's something that's really great about our magnesium. And so, these products work together synergistically to help improve your gut health. And then you have the Slim. So this is where the prebiotics, the fertilizer, so to speak, comes into play. It's like the food for your probiotics. Prebiotics help feed the good bacteria, the probiotics. It helps them to thrive and multiply. So that's where this pink drink comes into play. I'm having the microbiome activating one. There's actually two versions of our pink drink. Both of them have a lot of the same functions, but the differences are one of them, the microbiome one, has the prebiotics in it to help with the gut health. The other version doesn't have that specific prebiotic, but it has a fiber in it that's going to help your body with cravings and hunger. It's going to help you to like not overeat as much. And it's helped me a lot with just not having that major sweet tooth. It's a great weight management tool. It helps you to not snack maybe in between meals. But both versions of our slim drink, the main focus of it is to help balance out your blood sugar. So it helps with your hormones. And so this product was originally created for diabetics, and you don't have to be diabetic to drink it. But when they did the trials with this, they found that those diabetics that were taking the Slim that needed to lose weight, they were also losing weight. So they decided to market this product and call it Slim, since it does help with weight loss. If you don't have weight to lose, that's okay. It can still be for you. It doesn't mean it's going to make you lose unnecessary weight. You're just going to stay more in balance. Um, it has heart health benefits. It can help your metabolism. It's great for hydration. Lots of really great things with this product. And I think I mentioned the hormones as well. So all of these three work together. This is the triplex. This is the simple gut health system. You just take this drink once or twice a day if you want during the day, and then I take the capsules at bedtime. So it's super, super easy. I mean, it's so easy that a kid can take it. My daughter has been taking now she takes the BioCleanse and the ProBio 5 capsules. She's 10 years old, but she started with the ProBio when she was just a baby. She was like a little over a year and a half old, and she started we would open up the capsule, the ProBio 5, put it on a spoon, like a spoonful of yogurt, and it helped clear her oral dermatitis that she had around her mouth on her face. And then later we brought it back for her whenever she had eczema and it helped clear that. So I've seen it physically work like visually in front of my face, working on her skin. So I just love these products.
Yeah, that's. I mean, and there's been other times with Ruby where, especially during this time of year, where if she's eating more sugar, we'll notice she has very sensitive skin, so she'll get eczema on her arms sometimes, and we just up her probio, what
Yeah,
she's
because
taking,
the
and
yeast feeds off of sugar. So I
yeah,
mean, this
and
time of year
normally,
is like when we like to increase our probiotic if needed. Yeah.
mm-hmm, yeah, so we
So
just up
these are
her
just
that
some
that she
things,
she's
as
getting.
we're talking here, that, are symptoms of candida yeast overgrowth in your gut. Take a look at these, see if you notice anything that you deal with. You probably have multiple. I used to have at least 20 of these, believe it or not, and I'm down to like only dealing with 3 of them. So triplex has made a huge, huge difference in my life.
Yeah, one of them that I've never struggled with is acid reflux and indigestion. Um, but I've helped many people with that with triplex, and it is so cool
Yeah.
how quickly it seems to work for most people. Just a couple of weeks, a few weeks, and symptoms are gone, and people are just totally blown away by it. So
Yeah,
it's amazing.
seeing people reduce or even get off their medications. It's just
Hmm.
amazing. And then just the feeling better, is the best part about it.
All right, so reset time.
Yeah, let's talk reset.
Okay, so reset 3-day reset is a 3-day nutritionally supported fast. So, what does that mean? You might have heard of a water fast before. So, that's when you're fasting for a day or for 2 days or 3 days, and the only thing you're consuming is water. We did a short one of those a couple months ago for a prayer fast, and it's difficult doing a water only fast. It's not easy. What the 3-day reset is, it gives you nutritional, supplements. It gives you things to consume um, that fill in the gaps. And like my one of my favorite parts about it is that if you're doing a water fast, a lot of people do a water fast because they want their body to go through autophagy. They want it to go through cellular renewal. And with 3-day reset, you get the same results as you would from a cellular renewal standpoint, as you would on a 3-day water fast, and you're getting protein during a 3-day reset, so your body doesn't lose muscle. And as we age, maintaining our skeletal muscle is like it's like the one of the most important things we can do. So that is crucial, and it's so cool to be able to do this reset and maintain your muscle and not lose it. But some of the other benefits, average weight loss is like rated around 5 pounds. I've had times I've lost more than that. I've had times I've lost less than that. Sometimes it just depends on what you're going through at the time, that season of life, or maybe if you're coming off a vacation where you really indulged, maybe you'll lose a little bit more. Um, but there's different factors that go into that. But that's just an average. The big like main benefits. So it's a metabolic reset. So it's going to put your body into running on fat rather than running on sugar. So you by day 2 and day 3, your body will be burning the fat that's already on your body as fuel, which is called ketosis. You might have heard of the ketogenic diet. So it's you're burning ketones. Another thing is I talked about cellular renewal detox. One of the products in the reset, Restore, has a nutrient blend, which helps to detox toxins and heavy metals through the liver, and also detoxes cells as well. Uh, I talked about before with reset, just from a craving standpoint, like what Nicole was talking about with gut health and sugars and our the bad things in our gut feed on sugars. it's an interesting thing with the gut brain axis that those bad bacteria in your gut that are feeding on the processed foods and the sugars and all these different things, if you starve them out, so if you do a reset and you're just giving them good things, so you're starving the bad things that survive on Doritos and other things like that, um, then they go away. And the interesting thing is, when they go away, you stop getting those signals to your brain saying, feed me junk food, because just like good bacteria will send signals to your brain through that gut brain axis, so will the bad bacteria. So curbs cravings. Of course, it's great for your gut because you get good protein, collagen, prebiotics, um, and yeah, it's just a great reset for your gut. And then hydration support. Every morning you're going to start with hydrate, which is our electrolyte drink, which is the best way. I think I start every morning with a hydrate before coffee, before eating anything. I make sure to hydrate myself on a reset and every other day. But so let's go through quickly what's in the reset. So we have hydrate, like I talked about. That's the electrolytes, and this will come in a box. So it's a little box that has smaller is three smaller boxes inside, and each of those smaller boxes have everything you're going to consume for day one, day two, and day three. They're all identical. It's the same every day. So what you're going to get each day is first the hydrate, then our lean whey protein shake. Um, and it varies when people like to drink these. Some people will drink it right after their hydrate, first thing in the morning. You can mix it with milk, you can mix it with water, you can add some ice if you want to. You can mix it with your coffee and make a nice little coffee drink. I know that Nicole likes to do that. I do that sometimes too. So that's your breakfast. Then when you get to lunch, you're going to have a slim hunger control. So the slim hunger control is going to have the prebiotic fibers uh, that help to reduce your appetite, help you stay fuller longer. It's going to have chromium, which helps to maintain your glucose metabolism, so you don't have crashes, which is very important when you're in a fasted state. You're going to follow that up with a collagen bone broth, which has about 20 grams of protein, um, and provides essential amino acids for your overall connective tissue health, but also for your gut health. And then once we get into the afternoon, we're going to have an active, which is our clean energy drink. I think the coolest thing with the active that I don't talk about enough is it has a nutrient blend which helps the body to naturally boost nitric oxide levels by 175%. That's a nutrient blend that has been clinically studied that shows that nitric oxide, it's great because it gives you energy. It opens up your blood vessels. So if you're going to work out or something like that, it's great for that. Or if you're just looking for a boost in the afternoon, it's also great for your heart. Boosting your nitric oxide, keeping those levels up every single day. Because as we age, our bodies produce less of it. It is amazing for your heart health. Okay, so you're going to be active. Then you're going to have a smart snack, which is a protein snack bar with about 7 grams of protein. That also has some prebiotic fibers in it for gut health. Then in the evening, you're going to have collagen soup, which has about 20 grams of protein, gives you some extra nutrition and supports digestive comfort. Then lastly, in the evening or maybe closer to the time before you go to bed, you're going to have Restore, which is our liver detox drink. Also contains berberine, which is great for appetite control. Also, Restore is great for reducing stress a little bit. It's going to help you sleep a little bit and relax as you're going into the evening, about to go to sleep for the night. I know with regular water fasting, a lot of the times sleeping can be a problem. Not when you're on a 3-day reset and using Restore. And yeah, that's it. So you do that 3 days, and then day 4, you can go about your normal behaviors. But you'll find that coming off of reset, and it is beneficial to continue to lead with protein. Make sure you're having some protein in every meal, and don't just dive in and start eating junk food if that's something you were doing before. Use it as a springboard to introduce more whole foods into your routine. But that's it. That's the reset. Like I said, results vary. I mean, you'll see pictures of people like Nicole's got some pictures up of herself there. She had some of me up earlier. And like I said, from reset to reset, results can be different for us. So it just kind of depends on different things with your body and kind of what season of life you're in right then, maybe.
Yeah, here's just a few more examples of some 3-day resets. And some of these pictures, they show a little bit of the ways out. Like, for example, if you look at this first one on the top left, she started her reset on June 28th, and then July 1st, that's when she ended her 3-day reset. That's already massive results. And then as she kept continuing to do these, I think at this time she was doing them maybe every other month at first. And by March, a huge difference. And then these are all of our friends, by the way. I know all of these girls, Amy, Nikki, Katrina, and Christy. But Nikki's results up here in the top right, you can see her first 3-day reset, and then even more weight was lost just that next month. She was down already 9 pounds total. So, like you said, they vary, but the biggest part is all the other wins too, not just the scale, but also how well you fit in your clothes. Like that's like a huge thing for me, and just like how you feel a lot better and cravings change. Um, I just realized my video was off. Sorry. One of a really weird thing that didn't stick for a while, but the first couple months after my first reset, I don't know if you remember, John, but I turned into like a morning person for a little bit. That was really strange. All of a sudden I was like waking up in the morning and like feeling refreshed. I'm like, what's going on? I've never been a morning person. I stay up really late. And then, other times like I've noticed I was having salty cravings for a while, did a reset afterwards. I'm like walking past the chips and I don't care about them anymore. So you just never know what it's going to do for you. Um, but the cool thing is right now, Plexus can give you a reset for free. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, that's huge. Yeah. If you want to talk a little bit about our free reset offer, I'll pull up a picture.
Yeah. So new VIPs now can get a free reset with a qualifying order, which is an order of 100 PV or more, which is about what, $120. Is that where it comes
Yep,
in? I think.
that's what it is.
So yeah, you can get a triplex and you can get a free reset. Reset normally is if you buy it standalone, it's $119. I think you can save a little bit if you buy it in an existing combo. But yeah, new VIPs, they buy triplex,
Yeah,
add a new
you get the
reset
gut
to their
health
cart.
system.
Yeah,
Buy the gut health system, you get the reset for
get a
free.
free reset. Yeah. So we are having beginning of January a yeah a challenge, starting a community um, that really is going to be focused on resetting to start with the beginning of 2026. Got to used to saying that year. You don't have to do it, but we're you don't have to do it to be in the group, but we're encouraging it. Um, and then from there, the group's going to focus on, because the problem with New Year's resolutions and people starting new things is you don't have a community to support you, and you don't have any systems in place to actually help you continue to do it. You just set this crazy goal that you're going to go to the gym every day, and after you miss 2 days, you just stop.
Yeah.
So we want to help people to create healthy habits around movement, around a um, supplement system that is aligned with the goals they have in 2026, and then also from a food standpoint, from an eating standpoint, some different ways. Maybe you can make some adjustments there as well.
Yeah, so after you've watched this, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to one of us or whoever invited you to take a look at this video. We would love to answer your questions, help you get set up on a system that's best for you, because you don't have to start with a gut health system. We highly recommend it, But we have all kinds of other products, other systems that you can start with. Maybe you want to go full on with weight loss products. We can set you up with that and then get your free reset with that as well. I mean, you could even purchase our skincare package and get a free reset. Lots of options, and we can just talk through that with you, finding out what your goals are and what will work best for you. We look forward to working with you, and we're so excited for our challenge group starting in January.